Imagine an electric car that is about to hit the market and promises to change everything you know about affordable vehicles. A model that combines advanced technology, a surprisingly low price, and a proposal that seems almost too good to be true. But it's not fiction. It's a confirmed fact. It is scheduled to be launched in June 2025, and the starting price will be less than $30,000. Now here's the real impact. With the federal tax credit in the United States, the final amount could drop to a whopping $22,500. And suddenly, something that seemed distant becomes reality for millions of people. This car, with its aggressive pricing proposition, is not just another electric vehicle. It's a statement, a clear message that electric mobility does not have to be a privilege for the few. For years, the electric vehicle market has been dominated by expensive models packed with luxurious features, but unaffordable for most. This model is the opposite, a promise that cutting-edge technology and sustainability can indeed fit into the pockets of those who have always dreamed of driving an electric vehicle. The impact of this price goes far beyond the sticker. It transforms the concept of owning an electric car. Because when the entry fee is so affordable, the barriers disappear. Those who previously only watched from afar now have the chance to be part of this revolution. And we're not talking about a basic car with no features. On the contrary, it brings with it the most modern technology and efficiency, proving that it is possible to offer much more for much less. But the strategy behind this price is not just a marketing ploy. It is the result of years of development, innovation, and an obsession with efficiency. Instead of following the path of competitors, who charge a lot for cutting-edge technology, this model stands out for optimizing every penny. From the choice of materials to the simplification of the assembly process, everything was designed to cut costs without sacrificing quality. And that's exactly what makes it so intriguing. Because while many think that a low price means compromising performance, this model comes to break that myth. It is not only cheap to buy, but also affordable to maintain. And this is precisely what puts it in such a unique position in the market. A vehicle that is not just an economical alternative, but a smart option. Now, think about the impact of this on those who are tired of spending fortunes on gasoline or expensive maintenance. Think about the difference this makes for someone buying their first electric car. For many people, it will be the first time they have been able to experience the silence and power of an electric vehicle. It will be the first time that they realize that it is not necessary to spend a fortune to be part of this revolution. And if you think that the impact of this electric car ends with the initial price, get ready to discover how it revolutionizes the concept of cost of ownership. Because it's not just about paying less when purchasing, it's about spending a lot less to keep it running. The difference starts right when it's time to refuel. While the average driver spends more than $2,000 a year on gasoline, those who drive this electric model pay less than $500 on electricity. And that's enough to make a lot of people's jaws drop. But that's not all. What really surprises is the simplicity of maintenance. No oil changes, no belts, no exhaust rusting over time. And thanks to the remote diagnostic system, many problems are identified and resolved before you even notice. Imagine receiving a notification in your app saying that something has been automatically adjusted. It's like having an invisible mechanic who works 24 hours a day. This model isn't just cost-effective, it's smart. Every kilometer driven means more savings, and the impact of this on your pocket is real. Because it's not just about buying the car, it's about living with it. And here, every detail was thought out to reduce costs. From the regenerative brakes, which reduce pad wear, to the electric motor, which requires virtually no maintenance. The result is a much longer useful life and peace of mind that few vehicles offer. And for those who are always worried about mechanical surprises, This model is practically scare-proof. There's no radiator to leak, no spark plugs to replace, and the engine won't overheat in the middle of a trip. Instead, you have an optimized system with fewer moving parts and durability that makes any combustion car feel like a machine from the past. But the real difference is how much it saves without compromising performance. Because, contrary to what many people think, it is not a basic car. It still offers impressive acceleration and a driving experience that many more expensive models wish they had. And this is something you feel every time you press the accelerator, without that feeling that you're driving something cheap. On the contrary, it is a vehicle that delivers much more than its price suggests. And when you think about maintaining an electric car, there's another detail that makes all the difference: the software. Instead of frequent visits to the dealership, you receive system updates directly to your car, improving performance, fixing bugs, and even adding new features. It's as if your car gets better over time, something that no combustion car is capable of doing. But if the price and maintenance are already impressive, wait until you find out what really powers this machine: battery technology that redefines efficiency. Instead of settling for the conventional, this model offers two battery options that adapt to different driver profiles. The first is a 54 kilowatt-hour battery, capable of offering up to 300 miles of range. This means that even on long journeys, you don't have to worry about looking for a charging station on every corner. Now, for those who want even more freedom, there is a version with a 75 kilowatt-hour battery, which extends the range to an impressive 350 miles. And this is exactly where it leaves many competitors behind. Because it's not just about having more range, but about having a battery that delivers hassle-free performance. And if you're wondering how this is possible, the answer lies in the chemistry behind these batteries. By opting for LFP, lithium iron phosphate, technology, the model guarantees not only greater durability, but also greater safety. But don't think it stopped there. The real innovation lies in the fact that this model may, in the future, adopt the revolutionary 4,680 cells, known for their energy efficiency and fast charging capabilities. These cells are lighter, more powerful, and, best of all, cheaper to produce. This means that, even with a more advanced battery, the price remains competitive. It's like you're directing the future today. And when talking about batteries, a common concern is charging time. But here, the problem has been practically eliminated. Thanks to fast charging technology, it is possible to recover up to 80% of the charge in just 25 minutes. That's less time than you would spend sipping coffee and browsing your phone at a charging station. And for those who use their car on a daily basis, this makes all the difference. Because the last thing anyone wants is to wait hours to charge their car. Another point worth highlighting is the efficiency of these batteries. Even with a compact size, they are capable of delivering superior performance than many competing models. This is possible thanks to intelligent energy management, which optimizes load use and reduces waste. In other words, you drive more, spend less, and still help the environment. And we can't forget about durability. While many batteries begin to lose capacity after a few years, this model's batteries are designed to maintain their performance for much longer. It's as if each charge is being used to the fullest, and you don't have to worry about drastic drops in autonomy even after years of use. And if you thought the revolution was just in battery technology, wait until you see the design. Because this model is not just another electric car. It is a work of simplicity and functionality. A compact vehicle, 15% smaller than the Model 3, but which doesn't lose anything in its presence. Its lines are clean, smooth, without exaggeration. A design that doesn't scream for attention, but is impossible to ignore. When you look at it, you realize that every detail has been carefully thought out. From the front, with its thin and aggressive headlights, to the rear, where the lines flow with elegance. There are no unnecessary grills because, after all, there's no combustion engine to cool. Everything has been optimized to improve aerodynamics and reduce energy consumption. It's the kind of car that looks like it's moving even when it's stopped. But the real show starts when you enter, because the interior is a lesson in intelligent minimalism. No buttons scattered across the panel. In the center, a single 12-inch screen that floats, as if it were a window to the future. It's through it that you control everything, from navigation to entertainment, but not in a complicated way. It's all so intuitive that you feel at home the first time you touch the screen. And speaking of touches, the finish leaves nothing to be desired. High-quality materials that combine durability with a premium feel. The seats are comfortable, with an ergonomic design that fits perfectly to the body. And despite the compact size, the internal space is surprising. Thanks to clever design, rear passengers have more legroom than many larger cars. It's that kind of detail that only those who really care about the comfort of the driver and passengers notice. But perhaps the most impressive thing is the feeling of spaciousness. Because design is not limited to what you see, but what you feel. The large glass area allows a clear view of the road, while the thin pillars reduce blind spots. It's like driving in an open field, with complete control and visibility. And when sunlight comes in, the space feels even more welcoming. What really stands out is the commitment to simplicity. There are no dozens of complicated menus, no functions you'll never use. Everything is straightforward and practical. Want to change the temperature? One touch on the screen. Need navigation? A voice command. It's the kind of technology that adapts to you, not the other way around. And that makes all the difference. And when we talk about innovation, we cannot ignore the way this model is produced. Because, unlike traditional methods, which involve long assembly lines and hundreds of parts, this car is assembled in a revolutionary way in a factory that looks like something out of a science fiction movie. Welcome to the Santa Teresa, New Mexico Gigafactory, a true fortress of efficiency. Instead of assembling the car piece by piece in an endless sequence, the process was reimagined. Production is done in modules, with the front, rear, and cabin being assembled separately and then joined together into a single structure. This is not just a matter of style, but a strategic move. By separating the steps, production time is reduced and precision increases. It's as if the car were a giant puzzle, but each piece arrives ready to be fitted together. And that's not all. What makes this factory so impressive is the use of gigantic casting machines known as gigapress. They're capable of molding large parts of the chassis into a single piece. Instead of hundreds of small welded parts, you have just a few large, solid parts. The result? More resistance, less weight, and a much faster production process. It's as if each car was sculpted from solid metal. But efficiency doesn't stop at assembly. The location of the Gigafactory was strategically chosen. In New Mexico, labor and energy costs are lower than in other regions, and proximity to suppliers and markets makes logistics easier. This means that cars leave the factory ready to be delivered, without complications and without wasting time or money. And it's not just the process that's impressive. Sustainability is also a priority. Much of the energy that powers the factory comes from renewable sources, such as solar energy. It's a factory that not only builds the future of electric vehicles, but also does so in a way that respects the planet. Every car that leaves there carries not only cutting-edge technology, but also a reduced environmental footprint. Now, think about the impact of all this. While many automakers still struggle with complicated and expensive processes, this model is built with an efficiency that seems almost magical. It's as if every second counts, and every penny is saved without sacrificing quality. Because here, efficiency isn't just a fancy word, it's a philosophy. And the most surprising thing is that this efficiency is not limited to the production process. It extends to the design of the car itself. By using fewer parts and simplifying assembly, the model is not only cheaper to produce, but also easier to maintain. Fewer parts mean fewer things that can go wrong. It's as if every detail was planned to make the driver's life easier. But the real magic happens when this model enters the market and faces the competition. Because it's not just an affordable electric car. It's a direct challenge to competitors who are already trying to conquer the affordable electric vehicle segment. And there are not a few of them. Models such as the BYD Dolphin, the Hyundai Kona Electric, and the Chevrolet Equinox EV are already in contention. But there is a crucial difference. While many of them make cuts to keep the price low, this model delivers much more for the same price. The BYD Dolphin, for example, is known for its competitive pricing, but when you compare performance, range, and technology, it simply doesn't swim in the same ocean. Its range varies between 150 and 250 miles, while the model in question offers up to 350 miles with the extended battery version. And it's not just a question of numbers. The difference is noticeable in the driving experience, in the quality of the finish, and, of course, in the technology that equips the vehicle. What about the Hyundai Kona Electric? Well, it even offers a good range, averaging 261 miles, but the starting price is significantly higher. Not to mention that, to keep the cost competitive, it ends up sacrificing some features and interior finishing. In the end, you feel like you're driving a car that tries to be premium but makes compromises in the name of price. The Chevrolet Equinox EV tries to stand out with its space and practicality. It's a spacious car without a doubt, but it doesn't have the same technological appeal. The multimedia center is simple, the internal materials are more basic, and the performance leaves something to be desired when compared to the model we are exploring. Because here it's not just about having space or good autonomy. It's about having a complete and immersive experience. What really puts this model ahead of its competitors is the balance. He's not just approachable, he's smart. It's efficient without being basic. It's technological without being complicated. And, above all, it's a car that looks much more expensive than it actually is. Because while many budget electric vehicles look cheap, this model has the look, feel, and performance of something premium. And that's exactly what puts him in such a unique position. Because it's not just competing with other electric cars. It is directly challenging even combustion vehicles, which still dominate the market. For many people, it will be the first time they consider an electric vehicle as a real option. Because when you have the chance to drive something that's cheaper to maintain, cheaper to fuel, and yet more advanced, the choice becomes obvious. But what really makes this model a revolution is not just the price, design, or efficiency. It's a commitment to global accessibility. Because while many electric vehicles are still seen as an option for a few, this model comes to change that perception. It's a clear statement that electric mobility is not a privilege, it's a right. And this philosophy goes far beyond the United States. In a world where the race for electric vehicles is increasingly fierce, this model appears as a direct response to pressure from international competitors, especially China. Manufacturers like BYD are flooding the market with cheap electric vehicles, many of them costing less than $15,000. And this has put enormous pressure on all manufacturers, forcing them to find a way to reduce prices without losing quality. But while many are content to cut resources, this model opts for another approach: accessible innovation. And that's exactly why it is produced in a strategically located factory in New Mexico, where costs are lower and logistics are more efficient. This allows it to be exported to different markets taking advantage of trade agreements that reduce taxes and tariffs. And that's just the first piece of the puzzle. Because being manufactured in the United States, it also qualifies for generous federal tax credits of up to $7,500. And in states like California, New York, and Colorado, there are even more incentives, which makes the effective price even lower. But the commitment to accessibility is not just a question of price. It's about enabling more people to be part of the electric revolution. Instead of being just another car on the market, it becomes a tool for transformation. And that's not just a promise, it's a carefully planned strategy. Because by offering an affordable and efficient electric vehicle, it not only wins new customers, but also accelerates the transition to a cleaner future. And the impact of this is global. Because while many countries are setting ambitious targets to reduce carbon emissions and promote electric vehicles, there is still a big gap between intention and reality. In many places, electric vehicles are still considered expensive and unaffordable. But this model comes to change that perception. It's a car that democratizes technology, that puts the future in the hands of millions of people. And it's not just about sales. It's a question of leadership. Because by offering an affordable electric vehicle, this model positions itself as an example for the entire industry. It proves that it is possible to do more with less, that it is possible to offer innovation without charging a fortune. And this forces competitors to adapt, to rethink their strategies, and to look for new ways to offer more value. But perhaps the most impressive thing is that even though it is an affordable car, it makes no compromises in terms of safety or technology. It even offers advanced features such as adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, and lane keeping assistance. It's the type of vehicle that is not only affordable, but also safe. And that's something that makes all the difference, especially for families considering their first electric car. And for those who think that an affordable car means a car without personality, this model is proof of the opposite. Because it is not just a means of transport, it is a statement. Proof that technology can be accessible, that the future can be for everyone. And in a world where many still think electric vehicles are a luxury, it comes as a clear answer. It doesn't have to be. In the end, what this model represents is much more than just an electric car. It is an idea, a vision that innovation is not something reserved for an elite, but something that should be available to everyone. And that's exactly what makes it so special. Because he's not just another model on the road. He is the beginning of a new era. An era where driving an electric car is something anyone can do. And this is a change that no one will be able to ignore.